Hello and welcome. In this presentation, I'll be talking about competitive priorities and competitive capabilities. Now, competitive priorities are the critical dimensions that a process or supply chain must possess to satisfy its internal and external customers, both now and in the future. So, the focus is on something that is necessary to be there so that the company can compete in the market. Competitive capabilities, on the other hand, are the cost, quality, time, and flexibility dimensions. So these are different ways in which companies can compete that a process or supply chain actually possesses and is able to deliver. So this is what the company currently can deliver, and competitive priorities is what needs to be there. If there is a match between competitive priorities and competitive capabilities, then the firm is actually having competitive advantage in the market. But if there's a disconnect between what their capabilities are and what the priorities in the market are, then there is a challenge that the company has to meet. Now, closely related to competitive priorities and competitive capabilities is the idea of order winners and order qualifiers. Order winners are uh, the criteria that customers use to differentiate the services or products of one firm from those of another. Whereas order qualifiers are minimum level required from a set of criteria for a firm to do business in a particular market segment. So order winners are something that is necessary to get this order from the customer, whereas order qualifiers is the basic qualification that is needed before the company will even be considered to be in the market. So if you think of the automobile industry, in that safety, for example, will be an order qualifier. It's a minimum level required from a set of criteria that needs to be there to even compete. And then you could have several features within the automotive to then become the company from whom the customer will buy the car. So that would become the order winner criteria for the company. Now we could see several examples of order winners and qualifiers. So here we have classified these different order winners and qualifiers under different dimensions that companies can focus on. So for example, cost dimension. The focus could be on low cost operations, and Costco is a classic example of a company which competes well in that space. So for them, the objective is to deliver a service or a product at the lowest possible cost. So that's very important to keep in mind. And to be able to accomplish that, their process considerations would be that these processes must be designed and operated to make them efficient. So every process, nested processes that might be there, needs to be efficient so that the overall organization can deliver the low cost operations that it needs to have to compete well. If you think about quality as the dimension that companies are focusing on, now quality is a little bit more complex construct than cost. So quality could mean top quality. And if we are talking about top quality, an example could be Rolex. And Rolex watches are known for their highest possible quality. So the definition for a company like Rolex would be to deliver an outstanding service or product. So that's the key here. And to be able to accomplish that, the process considerations that they would have would be one where they need high customer contact to understand exactly what customer wants. And they also need to ensure that all the inputs that they're using are superior in terms of the kinds of material that they will use. Everything will be of high quality, very high quality. On the other hand, a different kind of quality dimension could be that of consistent quality. And an example could be McDonald's, where the objective or the customer expectation is not to have the topmost quality, but instead, every time the customer wants a product, they should be getting exactly the same that they have been getting in the past. So that's the consistent quality, where the objective now is to produce services or products that meet a certain design specification on a consistent basis. And hence, a company like McDonald's, they need to have hamburgers which actually taste exactly the same, and they need to have processes that are designed and monitored so as to reduce any errors in terms of out of specification and prevent defects from happening. So that would be their core objective, to accomplish the kind of quality that they need to accomplish. Within the time dimension, we could have different ways in companies can compete. One end, you could have delivery speed, which means quickly filling a customer order. So example would be Netflix, their DVD market, their DVD sales segment, where the process consideration is to design processes to reduce lead time. They have to quickly make sure that that DVD reaches customers' home. A different way in which you can compete in time dimension as compared to Netflix's approach of delivery speed is that of on-time delivery. So here, UPS, for example, the focus is not on as quickly as you can reach, but you have to meet certain delivery time promises. So you specify a certain time and you have to accomplish that through your delivery processes. And here the process consideration would be to plan processes so as you can increase the percentage of customer orders that are shipped when promised. So you ship them out and therefore it will then reach on time as expected. A third kind of time dimension could be that of product development speed. And a company which comes in mind is Zara, which is known for its fast fashion. So they're able to create new fashion, new products very quickly. So that's their definition of time-based order winner criteria, which is quickly introduce new service or a product. And to do so, their process consideration would be to have cross-functional integration and involvement of critical external suppliers. So they have ensured that their design team and supply team, the purchasing team, is tightly integrated to accomplish this fast product development cycle. Within the flexibility dimension, we could also have different ways in which companies can compete. On one end, you could have customization, where we know the classic example of mass customization by Dell, but you could have examples in service industry like Ritz-Carlton, where the objective now is to satisfy the unique needs of each customer by changing services or product design as per customer requirements. And to do so, the process consideration will be to have low volume, close customer contact, and the kinds of design that you have that can be easily reconfigured based on what the customer wants. So that would be the way you would achieve this particular order winner criteria within the flexibility dimension. A different criteria could be that of variety, where a company needs to handle a wide assortment of service or products. So Amazon, for example, they sell every kind of product, and to be able to do so, they have to have processes that are capable of larger volumes and processes that can support customization. So orders that are mix and match across different warehouses, fulfillment centers that can be brought together and then delivered to the customers as quickly as possible. So that would be a certain criteria that companies can have. Volume flexibility could be the third kind of flexibility dimension there, where the objective is to accelerate or decelerate the rate of production of services or products quickly so as to handle any demand fluctuations that exist. So here, USPS, United States Postal Services, they need to have, they are an example of a kind of company where they have to handle the Christmas demand versus the lower demand cycle with the ability to have processes that can carry this excess capacity as needed. They have that excess capacity and excess inventory. So there needs to be some buffer capacity to be able to accomplish this volume flexibility that is needed in that case. Now, to understand the relationship between order winners and competitive priorities, on the x-axis, we have the achievement of competitive priorities, low and high. And essentially, if you keep investing in order winners, what this figure is saying is that you keep increasing your achievement of competitive priorities. So it's good investment to be made in order winners to achieve competitive priorities, because it only gives you that much more advantage over competitors on those criteria which customers use to actually place an order. On the y-axis, you have sales, which also tells you that every investment you make on order winners increases your sales. So sales keep on increasing as you keep on increasing your order winner investments. So that's something which again helps. So every incremental investment in order winner is a good investment for a company. Now, order qualifiers follow a slightly different pattern here, where there's a threshold beyond which the sales will not keep on increasing if you keep investing in order qualifiers. So you need to have certain level of criteria being met, which is the qualifying criteria, the minimum standards, beyond which, if you keep on investing in the order qualifier criteria, your sales will not increase at the same rate. So there's a diminishing return in terms of your sales as compared to what you saw in order winners. So in this presentation, you got an idea of what competitive priorities are, what competitive capabilities are, order winners and order qualifiers are, and how companies can choose different kinds of order winners in different dimensions. And we had some examples of companies who have been doing that well in that space. Thank you.